he would like to be with her, but he doesn't want to risk being rejected, so he doesn't say or do shit about it. The issue is that he wants the emotional reward of intimacy without vulnerability of asking.
They don't actually want me. They just want the idea of me. People actually don't want to be alone so bad that they would rather stay with someone else they are not actually really love.
He only started to panic when the fantasy inconveniences him.
This is how much they don't care about you. This is how much they only care about themselves not being alone.
How often do people say they love someone when what they actually love is the role they imagine that person would play in their life? Hi, welcome back to You Are Where You Need to Be. Today is a special episode because we are going to discuss the 2026 movie Obsession. As we are both true horror fans, we couldn't wait to see this movie. And even before we watched it, we already heard about it. So we were really, really curious how it is going to be. And the movie is basically about a guy who has feelings for a girl who is his longtime friend and coworker. And instead of risking rejection, honestly, he uses a supernatural object to wish for her to love him more than anyone else. And this wish gives him what he wanted, but in the most literal, disturbing way possible. The movie is basically structured like a monkey's paw horror story. The wish comes true, but with a grotesque cost. And we'd like to discuss what's the not so hidden meaning about all of it and how we've seen it. So what do you think about the movie, Vicky?
Yeah, interesting that I first started to see the posters in the tube and I didn't really know what it is, but the title kind of talks for itself. And when I saw that it's coming out, I'm like, okay, that's something that I'm gonna watch because let's see, maybe finally there is something good, like a new horror film coming out, or even if it's just suspense. And yeah, it pissed me off because it is, yeah. It is in a sense a bit typical storyline, but now after so many years of dating and getting to know people and their patterns, and then just watching this film is just so many things connect, and I'm like, yeah, okay, that's just really not nice. And it's so way too real in a sense. How people actually treat other people, regardless of what the other person wants or who that person is. So I really like actually that it had this old fashioned, like there used to be these films in the 90s where someone would go to like in a carnival and then drop a coin into a mysterious toy box or a wish box or something, and then something strange would happen. And then it kind of brought that up in me. To be fair, the character was really, really freaking annoying since the beginning because he just reeked insecurity. The way well done for the characters, well done for the actors because they have done such a great job. But then this guy, I just wanted him to just please stop talking, please stop wanting to do anything with anyone, because this actor has done such a great job with portraying how an insecure person is communicating what they're going through. And yeah, there were a lot of details that I really like that we can get to eventually. What did you think more like in the beginning?
Yeah, the first thing what I also noticed is how many times in real life we meet this situation that there is like a guy who has a feelings for a girl. We are talking about this matter because we are women. I'm sure it happens from the other side too. And how many times this happens that he would like to be with her, but he doesn't want to risk being rejected, so he doesn't say or do shit about it.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just wishing that maybe one day something will happen, or maybe the girl will do something about it. And he doesn't have to, because if she does it, he doesn't have to deal with the rejection part, because that's what they are so afraid of, right?
Yeah.
Being
Yeah.
rejected, because, oh my God, what's gonna happen if somebody doesn't like me back? Nothing normally, right?
Yeah.
But this guy portrayed it so well. What's going on with this kind of people? What are they thinking? And he was like, yeah, well, wish that she loved me, but I'm not going to do anything about it. And she even asked him, for fuck's sake, do you like me, or do you want to tell some? No, I like you as a friend.
Mm-hmm.
And he's in love with her, let's say love, because this
Mm-hmm.
is not like the healthy version. It's more like he projects something on her,
Yeah.
which is not really her. And we only see that later on, how he doesn't really care if he is with that woman or not, because as the story goes on, she starts to behave a lot like herself, because it is not her.
Mm-hmm.
She is just attracted to him due to this wish.
Yeah.
And that's why all is so grotesque. So the problem is not that he has feelings, right? Feelings are not the issue. The issue is that he wants the emotional reward of intimacy without vulnerability of asking.
Mm-hmm.
This is how it starts off.
Yeah, I know. And then after all, he thinks that he deserves the benefits and everything to receive from this person. And he doesn't even think that the whole situation is not real, actually. And it's just, everything reeks that it's so unnatural. But in another comical way and perspective, I was also thinking, what if this is how men experiences when they finally get together with their female friend? And because they, as you said, they project some kind of wish. They don't actually know this person. They just see their best side because they spend time together when they are free. They work together. They don't actually know their everyday habits. And then when they actually get together, and then maybe this girl, let's say, start to feel attached and feelings towards this person. And it turns out that they are actually really insecure, because in reality, that can happen, that there are a lot of like insecure women that only comes out when they are in a relationship. And then man would see literally that you have zero personality and everything is around them, literally. And then you would go to the lengths of eating cat food because you don't have a character at all, because you're just waiting for them all day long. And then they only stay because they are so scared, what you gonna do? That you're gonna hurt someone or yourself or them. And this is another perspective that I saw in this film, besides the part of let's take it realistically, the storyline, what actually happened. But because there are cases when people get together with their friends and they get to know, and then all the magical, sparkly thing just disappears. And then this is the harsh reality that she's so obsessed.
Yeah, because that's true that we confuse friendship with a potential relationship. I don't think one should go without another, because it's better to get to know a person before you start something with them. But it's important not to have projections already, and not to think that they are going to behave the exact same way like they behaved as a friend in a relationship, because those two are not the same thing. And I had this many times because I also need friendship first. And later on, when you get together with the person, a lot of things you will see, a lot of side of the person you haven't seen before, because friendship, even if it's close, you're not going to see everything, or not. different kind of triggers and different kind of insecurities can come up from a person if you are in a relationship with them. And yes, many guys might wish that a woman's everything is them and the woman is only there for them. Like this guy wished for it. Like I wish she loved me more than anything else in the world.
Yeah.
But that literally means that you are going to be her world.
Yeah.
And everything is going to revolve around you. And that is suffocating. And people don't understand that just only when they are already there.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
it showed it in a, of course, grotesque way, but it was there. You could clearly see what it wanted us to interpret from it.
Yeah. So to me, the sad part that feels very much like reality that I experienced over the years in dating is that I would say man, for the same reason as you said, because we are women and we only have experience from this side of the dating pool. I'm sure women do the same. And I recall also going with the expectations into dating and because we have our own internal needs that we are not aware of. And then we just get together with someone we think they are someone and they are going to give us that something that we are looking for. And if they're not, then you are just, keep demanding that from them. And I have experienced that I would get together with a man in dating and they would tell me all kinds of nice things that I'm perfect and whatever. But then slowly it will come out that they don't like this and then whatever, or withdrawal. And the thing that they don't realize is that they don't like me. Like they just like some picture they project onto me. And this is true for like a lot of people who are not aware about their own dating patterns and their needs. And they don't actually want me. They just want the idea of me.
Yeah.
And they don't really understand that. And then they still keep staying because they have no clue about what else better or more suitable for them would be and where would they need to find it and how could they recognize that in someone else. And then they just keep trying to stay even though they are not happy. And then the other person is also not happy. And then they're just trying to like stay because they're scared in a way and not happy at the same time. And I like how do people get to the point where they so much don't want to take accountability for their own actions and then let this person go and find their own life and be happy? People actually don't want to be alone so bad that they would rather stay with someone else they are not actually really love and they are also not meeting their needs. Because if we look at it, this creature that he created wasn't really meeting his needs apart from his sexual needs, like that was not a healthy, not at all close to a healthy relationship. Not even like it was beyond toxic.
Of course. And the worst thing that he's panicking only when the fantasy inconveniences him. He doesn't care that he forced another person into loving him until it was still nice and he could take from it what he wanted. He only started to panic when the fantasy inconveniences him. This is the really ugly part. Like, he does not fully understand the horror when Nikki is losing herself. He understands it when her obsession becomes a problem for him.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
And this is also a real life scenario that you get together with someone. You demand them to change because you don't really like who they are, because you didn't even take the time to get to know them. You just needed somebody. So you took the first person who was willing to say yes, but then you don't like it. And you try to shape them into like little boxes, but then you don't like that either eventually because it's not them and it's not going to be natural and everybody's going to be miserable at the end.
Yeah.
So For me, the shocking part was that Barry is horrified, not because Nikki has been like erased, but because the version of Nikki he created is no longer convenient for him.
Yeah. Yeah. And I really love that you said that she's been erased, because this is how much they don't care about you. This is how much they only care about themselves not being alone and their needs not being met. And there was a short moment where he was asking if Nikki is happy. But then I don't know where that came from, because it didn't really last it too long. And then the next moment when she was begging, to be put down, finally she break through while this creature was sleeping. Yeah. And then he was upset, that.
Yeah! What was that? What the fuck? He was like, is it really that bad to be with me? Like, what are you talking about, man? She's like suffering and you're still focused on yourself. If it's so bad to be with you, you're so self-absorbed. You don't care about this girl.
Yeah.
You don't care about her. It's like exactly as you said, he projected something what he wished to have on her.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Mm.
And also, Nikki's horror behavior, I think, represents what happens when a woman is turned into someone else's fantasy. Also, like you said it, that she becomes exaggerated, clingy, sexual, possessive, unstable. But the point is that this is not her authentic self, right?
Yeah.
So the film shows her as possessed by Burr's wish, including moments when the real Nikki seems trapped beneath the spell, like when she asks him to unalive her. And she becomes scary because she's no longer fully herself. She's Bear's fantasy wearing Nikki's body.
Mm-hmm.
And he was okay with it up until the point when shit hit the fan, really.
Yeah. I still kind of feel so strongly about that. It's not only the fantasy, like in the film, yes, it is the fantasy, but it does happen to people that they get so enmeshed with the other person that they lose their personality. And this film portrayed it so beautifully. Why? Have you seen how she was losing her eyes at night and her facial features and all? And then she literally merged into the shadow and the wall. And I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. and sometimes she would probably come through like the real Nikki was when she was looking at him, and then she would be so scared. Maybe that was like moments when she managed to break through somehow, and then she recognized what kind of situation she's in.
Yeah.
And she couldn't escape it. And then this person, instead of, he's not true love. If he was really loving this person, he would not keep her like that. He would find a solution, not until the end of everything. And then he would let her go. Like, who would want to keep something like that, who's not even a person? Like, what do you enjoy about that? Just so you are not alone. And after 7 years of friendship, like.
How many times people choose someone just not to be alone.
Yeah.
And then they blame that person for not being who they really want. And it's not those people's fault. It's not their fault. Like literally, like an example, if you like brunette women, then be with a brunette woman. Don't be with a redhead. Don't be with a blonde. Don't be with I don't know what else.
Yeah.
If you like a certain body shape, because for example, you are working out and you want someone who works out too, choose that. Because later on you're going to have a problem and you're going to punish that person for it.
Yeah.
Who's not at blame, and you start to micro cheat because you are not happy with the person. And you look around and it is everywhere. It's everywhere. And people really just choose someone to fill in some voids because they don't want to stay by themselves for 2 seconds. They are shouting toxic single life and And then they don't realize how toxic is actually what they are doing.
Yeah.
Like that they are fishing all the freaking time, and they are looking at a person and they already see that person as a potential partner, even after a few days of talking or one date. And if it doesn't work out, they are disappointed because, oh my God, that's a failure.
Mhm.
That's where we are right now. So my question is like, how often do people say they love someone when what they actually love is the role they imagine that person would play in their life?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And they wouldn't even want to acknowledge that this person is not what they want them to be. And they wouldn't take accountability for forcing this person becoming or trying to become who they want them to be and give them freedom. They rather go all the way, dying and everything, or disappear, and then leave this person alone. Because for me, even that was like a bit like shocking that this poor creature, was so obsessed with him, and then he just locked himself. I know it was shown in a way that she wouldn't let him do whatever he wanted to do because he realized that he needed to end his life.
Yeah.
But then he would rather let her, at that stage when it was like already way gone, let her wake up, because the key was that if he dies, the magic spell will get released from her. And this really reminds me of when people, like at the end of a relationship, they just exit and they leave the woman have to deal with all the shit and mess, that they left, that they created for the whole thing. Yes, please share.
Yeah, no, this is so good because that's what I was thinking also, that you unalive yourself at the point when for her life is over anyway, because she will, even if not sent to jail, she will spend the rest of her life in some psychiatric care and she will never recover from this fucking mess. And the first time you should have done it is when they told you that this is the only way for her to be herself again. And you heard her screaming on the other side. So you knew how unhappy, how depressed she is. And you were still like, oh, we can make this work. We can make this work. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah.
So that's exactly what so many people do, that they wait and wait until they don't even want to be in that situation anymore. And they leave the other person in such a messy state, such a dysregulated nervous system.
Yeah.
That person needs years to recover from that, instead of just separating when it was not that deep yet from the other side too.
Yeah. But because of their own ego and their own needs, not wanting to end it and whatever, they just keep going and keep creating this brutal damage.
Yeah. Many guys, by the way, even they shared it like proudly, that they don't break up. They just become such an inconvenience for the woman that the woman will break up with them, because they are even too much of a coward to do that. So they are just shitting on her until she cannot take it anymore, and she will end it. Yeah. And then they can be the good guys.
Yeah. So I couldn't feel sorry for this character called Bear. His name is not fit for the character. I don't know how they came up with it, but yeah, it did really portray how people are not taking accountability for their own actions and trying to mold people into something they are not, and then they are the ones who are not really happy with it, but then they're still staying and taking the minimum advantages that comes from that toxic whatever it is. And then in the meanwhile, this other person becomes nothing because they are really not happy as well. And And this doesn't always happen just from like men. As I mentioned, I used to do that because I had no idea that I'm allowed to search for someone and I deserve that person who I imagine. And I would just, based on chemistry or based on some kind of convenience or whatever, someone was pushing enough, I would get together with people. And then, of course, those people weren't my people in a sense that they would meet my needs healthily or they would be a capable, healthy partner. And my body, my nervous system would recognize that and it would be screaming. And I would try to like, why don't you do what I want you to do? Because they are not that person. That's why. This is when we need to know this, recognize this, stand up and leave the situation forever. Because most of the cases, people don't change. Only if you have a wishing willow that you can break and ask for $1 million that guy wasted his wish on, Yes.
Yeah, really. So there are so many things in this, and that's why I think it's going strong in the cinema because it's really successful as I've seen. And it's just being more and more, so not the other way around. And I think there are so many things in here which so many people can recognize. Thankfully, because I also seen such bad misinterpretations. I even seen that this is a tragical love story. And I'm like, what? Like, oh my God, what's wrong with you?
Oh, wow.
And so many like people don't understand what it is about. They don't see the deeper message, which is actually in front of you. So you don't even have to think so hard.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like the fantasy of being chosen without effort because he wants love without emotional risk. So many people want that, right?
Yeah.
And the fear of female desire when it is no longer passive.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because they always want a chill woman, right? An unhinged woman. But that unhinged woman should love them, but still stay unhinged, right? Because when she really loves them, then it already demands something in return, which they don't want to give. So they are like drawn to those who actually don't want to be with them. And that's why they are unhinged, because they don't want them. So they don't have any emotional ties to them. They're not going to behave in this type of ways. So he wants her to want him, but once her desire becomes active, demanding and uncontrollable, he is frightened by it. Also, it is in everyday life, we see this. Not like that, of course, but we see it. And the consequences of objectification. Because when you reduce someone to the person who should love me, or the person I like, so they should like me back, then you erase the real person.
Yeah.
And the nightmare of getting exactly what you ask for.
Mm-hmm.
Because he wanted to be loved more than anyone, right?
Yeah.
And the curse simply removes all the soft lightning from that fantasy, literally, because her face is like always in the shadows, and that's why it makes it so creepy. Only her eyes you see a little bit.
Yeah.
She looks like a demon. So I think it's brilliant.
Yeah, I think there is something more. You mentioned so many great points. Is one I would like to add is the emotional closeness they want without zero effort.
Mm-hmm.
Like this wish, that it's just, it will happen because she was gonna reject him and he didn't even have the balls to tell her face to face. So he didn't even worked for it at all. It just happened. And then after, when she became demanding, because that's part of I love you more than anything else, then it became too much. And, now she can't even cook the cat. Nothing is.
Now she cooks the cat. What's why? Like, what's the issue with that, right? It's just a nice gift. What's your problem?
Oh my God.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's I think it really portrayed very well how people want love and a partner, and they don't do the inner work to have some kind of like guts to own what they feel and then stand up for that. And then if someone, as you also mentioned, it consequences of that is that this other person will also have needs, like she wanted to spend time with him. Obviously this film exaggerated the whole thing, that was the point, but then then he has to show up for that, and then now it feels too much. And like and then when he starts to withdraw or question things because you know some things she wasn't honest about, and then it turns out and it's you could talk about that, but then let's say that this person is actually becoming insecure, as I mentioned earlier, in a relationship, and they want reassurance, they want their person to show up, but because it feels too overwhelming, because this is not how the other person, the guy, imagined how it will go, because as friends they were all perfect, they got along well, and then it was fun and easy and whatever, and then suddenly they are together and she becomes insecure because he's maybe upset about certain things, he raises something, or something happens that she feels uneasy about, and then he only sees that she's like overreacting and she's too insecure, where she might be actually reacting to something because he asked the universe for her to love him more than anything. So now when a little bit of that he's not standing up for, her nervous system, this creature's nervous system, is going to feel that and will freak out. And this is what happened. So, and it happens with women, unfortunately, a lot, and they seem very hysterical and everything. But then in these cases, you just need a reassurance. The whole story was very exaggerated. But I really loved how they did it. And that's just, I think it's a really good reminder that you shouldn't try and force people. Like, let them go, recognize that you need an actual person, not just your needs being met. Like, come on.
Yeah, exactly. It's that's what it was all about. And I would like to ask the question at the end, that at what point does wanting someone becomes wanting control over them? So if you watch this episode and you have any stories or answer to that you'd like to really hear, how did you like it, or what were you thinking?
Yeah, and then if you maybe recognized yourself in the story, and which sides were you the cat?
Yeah.
I hope not. Oh God. I do recommend everyone to watch this, and I hope that the message will be delivered and full of lessons.
Yes, it's an important one.
Yeah. Thank you for watching.
Yeah, thank you for watching or listening, and see you next time.
Please don't forget to subscribe and follow us, and see you next time.
Bye.